The time has come at last. Hello everyone, and welcome to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. I have been wanting to get to this game for almost as long as I've had the channel. It's just that I couldn't actually do N64 games until within the last year, really reliably. With that said, let's not mess around, let's just make our character's name. We're going with Link, because it's the usual, really, and I just don't feel like reading my name out several times across several cutscenes. So let's just get right on into it. In the vast, deep forest of Hyrule, long have I served as the guardian spirit. I am known as the Deku Tree. The children of the forest, the Kokiri, live here with me. Each Kokiri has his or her own guardian fairy. However, there is one boy who does not have a fairy. Navi, Navi, where art thou? Come hither. Oh, Navi the fairy, listen to my words, the words of the Deku Tree. Dost thou sense it? The climate of evil descending upon this realm. Malevolent forces are even now mustering to attack our land of Hyrule. For so long, the Kokiri Forest, the source of life, has stood as a barrier, deterring outsiders and maintaining the order of the world. But before this tremendous evil power, even my power is as nothing. It seems the time has come for the boy without a fairy to begin his journey. The youth whose destiny it is to lead Hyrule to the path of justice and truth. Navi, go now! Find our young friend and guide him to me. I do not have much time left. Fly, Navi, fly! The fate of the forest, nay, the world, depends upon thee. Hello, Link! Wake up! The great Deku Tree wants to talk to you! Link, get up! Hey, come on! Can Hyrule's destiny really depend on such a lazy boy? I feel called out. You finally woke up! I'm Navi, the fairy! The great Deku Tree asked me to be your partner from now on. Nice to meet you! The great Deku Tree has summoned you, so let's get going, right now! Alright, not the strangest thing that anyone said to me upon waking up in my lifetime. Yahoo! Hi, Link. Screw ladders, I could backflip. Wow, a fairy! Finally, a fairy came to you, Link. Wow, that's great news. I'm so happy for you. Now you're a true Kokiri, Link. Is that right? The Great Deku Tree has summoned you. It's quite an honor to talk to the Great Deku Tree. I'll wait for you here. Get going. Go see the Great Deku Tree. Alright, and to do that, we just have to head east on the map there on the bottom right. Analog stick is movement, of course. The A button will let you do a roll attack, which doesn't actually ever do damage, but it does move a little bit faster than just straight up walking. Hey you, Mr. No Fairy! What's your business with the Great Deku Tree? Without a fairy, you're not even a real man. What? You've got a fairy? Say what? The Great Deku Tree has actually summoned you? What? Why would he summon you and not the Great Mido? This isn't funny. I don't believe it. You aren't even fully equipped yet. How do you think you're going to help the Great Deku Tree without both a sword and shield ready? What? You're right. I don't have my equipment ready, but if you want to pass through here, you should at least equip a sword and shield. Sheesh. Alright, tutorial area time. We have to come around Kokiri Forest and try to find a sword and shield. Whenever you see Link jump like that, as many people are used to at this point, it's an auto jump. Link didn't get an active jump button outside of Zelda 2 and any of the Rocks Feathers in the handheld games until Breath of the Wild. You can talk to other people around here and they'll give you basic tutorials, such as the A for attacking, running around randomly, and picking things up can sometimes give you rupees, which we're going to need at least 40 of, by the way. Green rupees are 1 rupee, blue is 5, red is 20, purple is 50, gold is 200, but we won't see a lot of those until way later on. Pressing the Z button on the N64 controller, which is what I'm using for this, allows you to lock on to things, such as anyone to talk to them. It allows you to strafe around, and I can also just use it outright to do different types of movement, such as the backflip I did earlier, which will allow you to jump over smaller barriers. And an interesting little thing you're going to see me doing a lot, particularly from part 3 onwards, I believe, is backwalking, where you hold Z and then you hold the control stick backwards. That is actually a faster method of movement than standard walking, and to get to certain places faster, I'm going to be doing that a lot throughout the early game. And in here in Mido's house, we can raid his stuff just to get a bit more rupees. For that, though, our goal is to head to that little, I don't even want to call it a maze there on the bottom of the map, but it's where we want to head next. If you're new to the game, I do recommend talking to all the NPCs around here and reading all the signs just to get more in-depth tips on how to play the game. But throughout the game, you'll get a good grasp on how things work anyway. This is probably one of the more important tutorials right here. Viewpoint with Z targeting. When you have no object to look for, you can just press the Z button and it'll move the camera to the direction you're facing, instead of waiting for the camera to catch up with you. This is useful for looking around corners, as you can eventually see enemies that are behind corners that you might want to avoid, or hazards even. Though, there is another thing you can do with the camera just by pressing C up when Navi's not wanting to talk, where you just look up at that person. And we can visit the House of Know-It-All Brothers to get even more in-depth. We got the Kokiri sword. On the equipment subscreen, select it with the cursor and equip it with A. This is a hidden treasure of the Kokiri, but we can borrow it for a while. Be sure to practice with it before you really fight. So if we press the start button, we'll actually have access to our pause menu and its 4 screens. We got a map, a sub-item, a main equipment screen where you can just choose your main equipment, and a sub-screen that and the 4th sub-screen just shows your general progress through the game. What dungeons you've beaten, how many of a certain item you have, what certain other things you've learned are. It's just to help you along the way. You can also press the B button while on any of the pause menus to save the game. But yeah, as I was saying, if you ever want to get into a first-person perspective, which we're going to want to do a couple times throughout the game, whenever Navi's not occupying C up there on the top right of the screen, you can press that to go into first person. Also, the Know-It-All Brothers house, if you want more in-depth tutorial stuff, they have a few more topics in there. It's the house that was just behind me. For now, though, we have a sword, and I have over 40 rupees, so now we can head into the shop over here. Hi, Link! Look this way! Look over here with Z and talk to me with A. You can talk to certain people or lock onto certain things in the distance and check them with the A button just by Z targeting onto them. I'm, again, not doing much around here just because it's tutorial land. This is a shop. If you want to look around, you can buy any of the things you got as long as you got enough rupees, though right now you can only hold 99. The thing we want is the Deku Shield for 40. Switch to the equipment subscreen and select the shield. Press A to equip it. Press R to crouch and defend. If you press R while Z targeting, you can move while defending. Otherwise known as circle strafing, sort of, depending if there's an enemy. But yeah, pressing R, you can rotate the shield around. The rotation generally doesn't do much to help you, though, in my experience, as when you have the shield out, unless something's attacking you from behind, you're generally going to block it with the shield anyway. So let's get this guy out of the way. If you want to see the Great Deku Tree, you should at least equip a sword and shield. What's that? Oh, you have a Deku Shield. And what's that? Is that the Kokiri sword? Good grief. Well, even with all that stuff, a wimp is still a wimp, huh? I, the Great Mida, will never accept you as one of us. Shoot, how did you get to be the favorite of Saria and the Great Deku Tree? Huh? Asshole. Also, yes, I swear a lot, so if you're new to this channel, prepare for that. And here we got our first enemy, Deku Babas. They go down to 1 slash, and they drop a Deku Stick. On the Select Item subscreen, you can select it with the left, down, or right C buttons. Set it to C and swing it with said C button. When you want to put it away, stand still and press A. You can carry up to 10 sticks, but don't waste them. You can also put it away by just slashing your sword. And you're going to want a couple of these, because these are more powerful than your sword to start. A single swing of these does 2 damage versus the Kokiri sword's 1. So for boss fights early on in the game, these are a very helpful tool. Bit awkward to use, but still useful. Great Deku Tree, I'm back! Oh, Navi, thou hast returned. Link, welcome. Listen carefully to what I, the Deku Tree, am about to tell thee. Thy slumber these past moons must have been restless and full of nightmares. As the servants of evil gain strength, a vile climate pervades the land and causes nightmares to those sensitive to it. Verily, thou hast felt it. Link, the time has come to test thy courage. I have been cursed. I need you to break the curse with your wisdom and courage. Dost thou have courage enough to undertake this task? I want to say no, but these are busted but thou must situations, and therefore, I kinda have to say yes, so sure! Then enter, brave Link, and thou too, Navi. Navi the fairy, thou must aid Link. And Link, when Navi speaks, you see up to listen well to her words of wisdom. And with that, we have access to our first dungeon. And let's listen to Navi, what she has to say. Come on, be brave, let's go into the Great Deku Tree! Alright. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. This is going to be a bit of a shorter part than most. I'm generally going to aim for 15 to 25 minutes for these parts, but I like to begin a part at entering a dungeon and end a part usually either halfway through it or exiting the dungeon. So that's going to be the general flow of things moving forward. And in part 2, we're going to be going through the Great Deku Tree and seeing what awaits us inside of him. See you guys then.